Hello everyone, welcome to this Healing Yin class with Mantra Vine. The intention behind this class from me and Rupak was to create something for you at home that could bring some light in and bring some healing energies in as well during this unprecedented time. We're going through a huge global shift, and we just want to be here to support everyone and be in community, even if we're not able to actually connect face to face right now. So we hope that you enjoy it. We will also be donating any of the proceeds to a relief fund in India as well. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable and get anything you might need for class. So you can use a mat if you would like to. You can practice on a carpet as well. Yin is a pretty static practice, so you're not going to be getting very sweaty, so no need to put on your cardio workout gear. You can practice in your sweats. Grab some pillows for support if you need it during practice. If you have blocks, you could also grab some blocks. Maybe you want to grab some candles or light some incense also, whatever you need. But just take your time and get settled in for this practice. It will be about an hour, a little less than an hour and a half. So once you are ready, go ahead and lay on your back. And we're going to get started with some tension and release first. So just find yourself here, laying on your back. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you right now. Just feeling the mat and the floor supporting you. Hands resting by the sides, palms faced up. We're going to go ahead and get started. So starting with the feet now, go ahead and tense your toes as tight as you can tense them. Tense, tense, tense the toes and release. Go ahead and relax. Continuously breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Tensing the entire foot now, the toes, the top of the foot, the bottom of the foot, maybe gripping it as tight as you can. Tight, 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 and release. And now moving up to the ankles. Go ahead and flex the ankles, tense the ankles as tight as they can be. Tight, 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 and release. Moving up to the calves now. Tensing the calves tight, 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 tight. Hold and release with an exhale. Moving up to the knees now. Tensing the knees as tight as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release with an exhale. Good. Moving up to the quadriceps. Tensing the quadriceps as tight as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Maybe hold the breath here. Squeeze tighter, tighter, tighter. And release. Breathe out with an exhale. Release, relax. Moving to the hamstrings. You can isolate the hamstrings. You can do the entire upper leg at once if you would like to also. Just engaging the hamstrings here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as tight as you can. Holding the breath. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And with an exhale, release. Feeling the relaxation replace that tension. Moving up now to the glutes. When you're ready, begin to squeeze. Tighten the glutes as tight as they can be. Tight, tight, tight. Squeeze. Feel the stress of that tension. And with an exhale, let it go. feel the release of that tension. Now moving up to the abdomen. You're going to squeeze the abdominals here. Squeeze, 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 holding the breath. Squeeze tighter, tighter, tighter. Experience that feeling of tension. And with an exhale release, let it go. Feel that relaxation come in. Now moving up to the upper back and the shoulder area. Go ahead and begin squeezing, 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 maybe even lifting the chest up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And with an exhale, release. Moving to the arms and the chest. As you inhale, squeeze everything, the chest and the arms all at once. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Feel the experience of that tension. Be present and exhale, release, relax. Feel that relaxation come in. Moving now to the hands. We're going to make fists with the hands. On the inhale, hold the inhale, squeeze the hands together as tight as they can be squeezed. Tight, 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 tight. Experience that feeling of tension. And with an exhale, release. Feel that relaxation come in. Feel your body heavy on the mat. Now moving up to the head and the neck. So we're going to inhale, squeeze the neck muscles. If you can, engage the head muscles. Squeeze the face muscles at the same time. Squeeze, 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 engage. And with an exhale, release. One last time, we're going to engage everything now before we move into our final relaxation here. So breathing in, squeeze everything at once, the feet, the legs, the abdomen, the back, the arms, the hands, the head, and the face. Squeeze, 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 holding the breath. Feel that tension. Hold it here. And with a big exhale, release. Feel yourself heavy on the mat. We're going to rest here for 2 minutes. So just allow yourself to be heavy on the mat here. Feeling that any tension left in your body is fading away. Getting rid of any fear. We're using the frequency 396 here, which is a frequency to let go of fear and guilt. Begin to feel courage. So allowing that to flood into your body. Getting to feel that relaxation and that comfort with self. Breathe that in, nice and slow. Slowly coming back to your body, feeling no rush. Go ahead and roll over to your left side and come to sit. Again, taking your time. So our first yin posture is going to be a seated forward fold, or what we call dangle in yin. So they're both forward folds. Dangle can be done standing. I would recommend, if you have a problem with dizziness or lightheadedness, any heart issues or blood pressure issues, that you do this posture sitting down. So you're still going to get a lot of the same benefits. We're going to be stressing our hamstrings here. And standing, we're going to build some immunity and build some strength of mind. Well, in yin, we're always building strength of mind and patience here. So we will be staying in this posture for 4 minutes. So get ready. If you want to take the standing version, bring your feet, hips width distance apart. And you're going to fold forward over your legs, and you can allow your knees to bend here and allow your head to hang, allow your arms to fall down. And you're just going to hang here. Maybe over time you'll slowly begin to straighten the legs. The back can be rounded. No need to keep the back straight here. We're stretching out the back muscles as well. If you want to take the seated version, come to sit on your mat with legs stretched out in front of you. And here, if you want to grab a pillow, you can slide that under your knees. Extend your legs out in front of you. No need to flex or point the toes. Just allow them to relax. And then again, you're going to bring yourself forward. You can have your head resting in your hands, or bring another pillow on top of you to relax over. So here we want to feel quite comfortable, but we do want to feel a stress in the posture. So with yin, I'm connected to my pillow. With yin yoga, we want to feel a stress, but we don't want it to be too intense. So you want to stay about 50 to 70% of your maximum stretch here. Because we're going to be here for about 4 minutes in total, we don't want to push it too hard. The secret to yin is not the intensity, it's the duration. So we stay in the postures at a moderate intensity over a long period of time. This gets into the yin tissues of our body, which are the fascia, the tendons, the ligaments, the bones. So because we're not stretching or focusing on our muscles here, we have a different process than a yang yoga class. We're not stretching and strengthening the muscles. We are bringing health and vitality to the yin tissues of the body. So we have a different approach for this. And so if you are standing, you might begin to feel your legs shake. That's okay. Try to relax the legs as much as possible. Wherever you are, allow yourself to melt a little bit further. Breathing smooth and steady. And if you're standing, connecting with the floor through your feet, feeling grounded. And feeling the courage to stay here. To commit to the posture. If you're sitting, feeling connected to the ground through your sit bones. This frequency 396 is used for the root chakra as well. So bringing that grounding energy in now. Feeling yourself rooted here on your mat, in your home. To move into the posture, if you feel it's gotten a little bit easier and you have more room, you can stretch a little bit further, not to the maximum, only up to about 70%. We have about 45 seconds left here. Continue breathing deeply, enjoying the sensations. Slowly begin to move out. So if you're standing, I recommend dropping the hips down to the mat instead of standing all the way up. That will help you avoid dizziness. If you are sitting, just go ahead and roll back down onto your mat. You're gonna rest for 1 minute here. You can rest on your back, on your side, or on your belly. Whatever feels most intuitive for you. And you'll feel here the rebound effect of the posture. You'll feel your body begin to come back to a place of neutrality. Just observe those sensations, maybe any emotions that come up. Okay, so now slowly coming out of your resting posture, taking the time that it takes, there's no rush. And slowly coming to sit. The next posture we're going to do is called half saddle. So we're going to stretch the quadriceps and the front of our hip as well. So sitting on your mat, extend one leg and then bring the other foot, the opposite foot, by your hip. So for me, I'm bringing my right foot to the outside of my right hip. So I can point my toes back if that's comfortable, or I can flex this foot. So because we're all shaped differently and our bone structure is all different, it might not look the same for everyone. We're not going for a look in this posture or any of the yin postures. We are going for a feeling. We want a particular sensation. So what we want here is to feel stress in our quadricep and maybe into the hip, maybe a little bit into the back. What we don't want is anything on the knee or the ankle. You might feel some pressure in the top of your foot. You can fold up your mat to make it a bit more cushy there if you need. So your knees don't have to be together. Again, just see what works for you, where your knee feels comfortable. If you want to grab a pillow, you can put it behind you. So we're going to come down and lean back. And you want to feel that stretch, the 50 to 70% of the maximum here across your quadricep. So you can lean back, you can rest on an elbow. You can lay all the way back onto the pillow, resting your head there. And see how this feels. If you'd like to remove the pillow and lay all the way down on your back, that also works. We just don't want to feel too much stretch right at first. Again, we're not going to a maximum stretch. So take whatever works for you. Ensure that you're not feeling anything on your knee. And we'll be here for about 3.5 minutes more. As you allow yourself to open up to this posture, keep a smooth, steady breath. If you're feeling really intense or overwhelming sensation somewhere, breathe into that area. Instead of feeling panicked about a particular sensation or resistance, try to breathe there. Feeling grounded here. Breathe deeply. Allowing yourself to trust your body. Feeling comfortable with discomfort. We transmute that panicky energy into awareness, allowing it to be, changing it into a calming energy. We transmute any fear that comes up, any avoidance energy, to a feeling of groundedness and comfort, into allowing what is to be. Trusting that those uncomfortable situations always make us stronger. Trusting that this path, however confusing or painful it may seem, is the right one. It's always perfect. So we'll slowly come out and we'll rest before doing the other side. So roll to your left. If you have your right leg bent, roll over away from whichever leg is bent and straighten out that leg. You can rest however you would like to. Just feel the ground supporting you for the next minute. here you can feel the difference in your sides in this asymmetrical posture. So just taking note of the different sensations between your left and your right leg. Get ready to do the other side. So you can come into it however you would like to, from a laying down position, or you can come to sit. Again, grabbing a pillow to put behind you. This side might feel a bit different. That's okay. We're not created symmetrically, and that's normal. So again, we don't want to feel any pressure or discomfort or pain on the inside or the outside of the knee. Over the top of the knee is okay. There's a tendon connecting there to your quadricep that we can give some stress to so that it can regenerate and become more elastic and stronger. So settling in, will be here for another 3.5 minutes. We are using the frequency of 174, which is a frequency to help us feel grounded, to gain trust, and to calm down. So allow yourself to breathe in this frequency, melt into the sound, connecting with the earth. Feel yourself supported by the ground. Feeling that comfort. Trusting that you are supported in every way, even in uncomfortable situations. And so breathing now and calling that in, despite any discomfort you may feel in the physical body. Trust. Let go of any stories. Allow what is to be. Breathing through any emotions that arise, allowing them to come to the surface. And fall away. Breathe. 20 more seconds left in this posture, so begin to move out slowly, taking your time. You could come all the way up to sit, or you can roll away from your bent leg and straighten it out in front of you. Coming to rest for 1 minute. Slowly begin to waken the body, moving out of your rest, coming into a seated position, preparing for the next pose. We are going to practice a wide-legged forward fold now. And here we're going to be stressing our adductor muscles as well as our hamstrings and the fascia that runs through and around those muscle groups. So I'm just going to take your legs out in front of you, nice and wide. And you can keep the knees bent if you need to. What we don't want to happen here is for the hips to roll back. So we don't want you hunched over like this. We want to be able to roll the hip, the pelvis forward. So if you can imagine if your tailbone extended farther and you had an actual tail, you would want it to be pointed to the back of the room, not tucked underneath you. So we want to roll the pelvis forward if we can, and the feet they don't need to be flexed, they can be relaxed. We want all the muscles to be relaxed in yin yoga. Again, you can slide a pillow underneath your knees if you'd like to. And then come forward. So you can also grab your pillow and put it in front of you. So maybe you want to use it to rest your elbows on, and you can allow your head to hang. Or if you have more room, you can slide yourself out in front of you and lay on the floor. So again, we're only going to 50 to 70% of our maximum stretch. We're not going to go into 100% of our stretch here and stay for 5 minutes. We want to go with moderate intensity, being kind to ourselves and our bodies. So when you feel an intense sensation in the hamstrings or in the adductors, go ahead and pause there. Stay there. We are going to be here for about 4 more minutes. And And again, we don't need the spine to be straight in yin yoga. We're actually getting into the back muscles as well. We're not building strength in the back. That's not the intention in yin. We are wanting to release tension through the back, release tension in the back of the neck as well. So we can allow the spine to round and just completely let that tension melt out. Breathe into the back body. You might, if your head is hanging, you might feel really intense stretch or stress there. So you can use your hands to support your head, but allow your neck to round. Maybe take your hands away as we move into the posture. So fascia begins to release after 2.5 minutes of stretch, of moderate stress. So you might feel more space begin to open up as we move past the 2.5 minute mark. So if you feel that it's getting easier, move a little deeper. Commit to getting that full benefit. Don't run away from a feeling of discomfort. Go there. Know that it's for your highest benefit and breathe into it. Being honest with how you're feeling in these postures is important. Noting whether you constantly push yourself a little bit past your limits, or noticing whether you constantly shy away from intense feeling. Not judging those habits, but just being aware of what those habits are. And maybe choosing to really honor yourself. Transmuting whatever that habit might push you to do, moving into something a little bit kinder for yourself, whether that is to stay within your ability, your range, or whether that is to step up to the challenge. Our medicine is unique to us. So finding what your medicine is today. We're going to slowly move into the next variation of this posture. So slowly push yourself up. We're going to keep the legs extended. So if your legs are feeling really intense right now, you can maybe bring them together, maybe grabbing underneath the knees and just allowing them to release for a moment. And then returning one leg long, whichever feels appropriate, and bringing the other foot to the inside of your thigh. And again, if your hips are rolling back, feel free to sit on a pillow also to elevate the hips. And again, you can keep your knees bent if you need to. We're going to take it into a side stretch now. So whichever side you have the leg extended, go ahead and lean over to that side. And you can drop the elbow of that arm down onto the floor or maybe even onto the leg. And then you can bring the opposite arm behind your back, or you can bring it overhead if you want to. I prefer to bring it behind my back here. Just keep pulling this shoulder, the top shoulder, backwards. Don't melt forward too much. So again, this is a side stretch, stretching the intercostal muscles here and all the fascia within and around, all that connective tissue. We'll be here for about 2.5 more minutes. Breathing into that side stretch. Breathe into that side lung. Maybe melting a little further. Maybe allowing a little more room. We have about 30 more seconds here. Going a little further before we switch to the other side. And as you move really slowly to come out. Taking the time that it takes. There is no rush. We'll go to the other side. So, stretching out the opposite leg. Bringing the straightened leg, bending that knee and bringing that foot to the inner thigh. We're going to stretch to the other side. Again, you can bring a pillow underneath your elbow here. You can use this hand also to support your head here if it's too intense. You can stretch the arm overhead. That's going to make it more intense. It can also be intense, a bit too intense for the shoulder. So if that's the case for you, you can bring the arm behind your back. I'm just holding here about 2.5 more minutes. Breathing into that side stretch. Breathing into whatever emotions or feelings come up. Breathing in peace and calm. Breathing through any sensations that feel uncomfortable. Trying to create some space between the story about discomfort and the actual experience. Focusing on the sensations rather than whatever story the mind is creating about the sensations. Last few breaths here. Begin to move out of the posture. Taking the time that it takes, and we'll move to a rest. 1 minute here. On your back, on your side, or on your stomach. Whatever feels best to you. We're going to slowly make our way back to a sitting position, preparing for our next posture. So we're going to do dragon next, baby dragon. And For dragon, the target area is the front of the hip, which will be connected to the back leg. So we're going to step 1 foot forward in front of us, and then we'll have one leg extended behind us. So whatever the back leg is, we're going to stretch the front of the hip of that leg. So you're going to bring your hips down towards the floor until you begin to feel a stretch here. And you can bring your hands on either side of your front foot and be aware that your right knee stays somewhere over your right ankle. And then you can allow your upper body to rest on your right leg, and then allow your head to hang also. So you might feel a stretch all the way down your spine here as well. But again, the target area is the front of the left hip. So a lot of times we want to bring this foot out and feel a stretch into the inside of the right leg. We can also do that. So you might want to take your right leg out to the side and angle that leg out. But again, the target area is not the inside of the forward leg. We want to feel more in the front of the hip of the back leg. So just keep that in mind wherever you feel the most stress in the front of the back hip. So for me, I keep my front leg right underneath me. Again, yin yoga is not about the way a posture looks. It's about the way it feels. So we'll be here for another 3 minutes. Getting the benefit of opening up that hip joint, the capsule itself. You might feel a release to the back as well, and the back of the neck. This posture tends to get more intense over time. So if you feel it too intense, just lift the hips a little bit. Bring some of that weight, that heaviness off the hip. Try to avoid jerking, coming out really fast. Use a breath first. Connect with your intuition. Connect with the sensation. Being honest with yourself. Is this too much? Do I need to pull back a little bit? Being kind to my body and myself. Not wanting to bring on injury. Or is it that you're making it too easy for yourself and avoiding something strong? So having some tenacity here, maybe some willpower to face something difficult, knowing that you have that within you, and stepping up to feel that sensation, maybe bringing the hips even closer to the mat. Just 30 more seconds here before we move to the next posture. So from your dragon pose, we're going to move straight into a pigeon posture, or we call it in Yin Yoga deer or swan. So I'll show you from this side actually. So the front leg, whichever's forward, you're going to bring, we'll start with deer. So the target area for this posture is the outside of the front hip, your abductor muscles, and your glutes. So bringing the front shin parallel to the top of the mat, protecting the knee, so the knee will be at a 90-degree angle. And then the back leg you can bring to a 90-degree angle also, or you can have it a little bit closer to you. The back leg is not so important here. Again, we want to feel the target area of the front hip. So you're going to lay over your leg here. You can bring a pillow beneath you if you need. You can support yourself on your forearms. You can lay all the way down. For me, the way that my bones are structured, this posture I don't feel much from. So I don't actually feel it in my hip here. So what I do is I bring this foot a little bit closer to me and I level out my hips and bring my back leg straight. This would look like pigeon in a yin class. And then I lay down from here. So again, I feel that in my adductor muscles, the outside of that front leg. So we don't want to feel anything in the knee. Be kind to your knees. Notice if there's any pressure there or pain, and can bring some adjustment to that. Maybe bringing your front foot further away from you or closer to you. Play around with the two different postures and see where you feel your biggest stress, the correct sensation that you want to be feeling. Yourself in position. We'll be here for about 4 more minutes. So in yin, as you can see, the way the posture looks doesn't matter. It's the way that it feels. We all have different bodies and different bone structures. And so we all need different postures to achieve what we want. In the goal is functionality. How does it feel? Rather than aesthetics, how does it look? Like how we all need different medicine. We're all different stories, different backgrounds, different souls, different spirits, and our medicine will be different. Whatever it is we need to look at this time, whatever it is we need to transmute, whatever we need to face, whatever we need to let go of, whatever we need to love, going to be different for all of us. Just allowing that to be, allowing your intuition to bring that forward for you at this time. About 30 seconds left here. So moving a little bit deeper if you have the space. Recognizing what it is you need to finish this posture. So slowly moving out. We'll begin to move into our rest. You can roll over to one side and bring your front leg back, or you can come up to kind of sit before moving your leg back and resting however you would like to, on your side, on your back, or on your belly. We'll be here for 1 minute before we go to the other side. Begin to move out of the rest, preparing for dragon on the opposite side. So, whichever side you didn't do before, step that foot forward in front of you. And again, sides are different. We're not created symmetrically, and that's okay. So, you might be positioned a bit differently. Again, the goal here is to feel a stretch over the hip of the back leg. So that's the main target area. Taking your front foot out to the side may give you a second target area of your inner thigh, your adductor muscle. However, we don't want to lose the stress in the front of the back hip. So remember that the main target area is the hip, and feel into the front of that hip. Again, you can allow your head to hang, resting your arms on either side of your front foot. Hands can be resting on the floor, or you can bring blocks or pillows underneath them. You can also maybe rest your elbow on your right leg if it's too intense to lean forward. be here for about 2 more minutes. Slowly moving out of your dragon posture. And we're going to move into deer or swan, depending. And it doesn't have to be the same one that you did on the other side. And again, it's not going for a particular look. Try to stick with the sensation. So you're going to bring the front leg, knee down, chin parallel to start out with, the back leg just tucked behind you. And you're going to lean forward over this leg, check in with where you feel it on the outside of your hip. This is the target area, your abductor muscles and your glutes, the front leg. You can bring a pillow underneath you to rest on here. Or you're going to bring that back leg straight. Maybe your shin stays parallel in the front, or maybe your foot comes a little closer to you. And again, you can rest here. So finding the position that serves you, serves your goal, your intention. Using your instincts to see what feels best for you. What is the medicine that you need here right now? The frequency that we've been using throughout these postures is 741, which helps to awaken our natural instincts, strengthen our intuition, come into our ownership of ourselves and our energy, what we focus on, what we use to heal ourselves. Acknowledging what we need at every moment and allowing ourselves to use that. Now that we have released tension and guilt, become calm in our bodies and courageous in our minds, knowing that we know the medicine that we need. We might not always feel that way, but it is true, and we know it is true on the soul level. So bringing that in, breathing that in to every cell, even in this spot where it feels a bit uncomfortable, maybe. Let it be true. About 30 more seconds here before we come to rest. Slowly taking the time that it takes, move. You can press yourself up first, or you can roll over to your side and stretch your front leg back, whatever feels best to you. Resting on your stomach, your side, or your back. And we'll be here for a minute. Slowly coming out of your rest, we are going to move into the back bend of our practice. So we're going to lay on our bellies. You can grab a pillow to be near you, so you have it there for you. So we can start laying on our stomachs, and we can just be on our forearms first. And we don't need to pull our shoulders away from our ears as we do in yang styles of yoga. We can allow them to relax. We can allow our head to hang if we need. If we don't feel it very much in our backs here, we can bring our arms up on the pillow or on your blocks if you have it. Books, maybe if you're using books as blocks. If you're still not feeling it much in the low back here, you can come up onto your hands, and your hands can be out in front of you quite far, or they can be directly under your shoulders. Again, the shoulders don't have to be pulled away from the ears. Just allow your shoulders, your neck to be loose. You don't need to engage the muscles here. If you're feeling any tension happen there, you can engage a little bit, but again, just try to be nice and loose, relaxed. And we will be here for about 3.5 more minutes. So here we are. Stretching the front body, the abdominal muscles. We're compressing the spine. Most of our back bend comes from our lumbar spine. So feeling that low back, some compression there, not too intense again, 50 to 70%. Strengthening our vertebrae. Back bends can be quite invigorating. Just feeling that energy there. Maybe feeling the front body begin to relax. Again, you can drop the head back or you can hang it forward. 30 more seconds. If you feel you have more space, you can press higher onto your hands, draw them back closer to you, intensify your back bend. Lower ourselves down to the mat and come to rest. Rest on your back, on your belly, or on your side. Oftentimes we feel the rebound in a back bend more strongly than the back bend itself. So just staying with those sensations, feeling the back muscles return to neutrality. So next we are going to move to a twist, our final postures before our final rest. So we're going to stay on our backs. If you're not on your back, go ahead and roll over to your back. And for our twists, we are going to spread our arms out on our mat in a T shape. Palms can be facing down or up. And you're going to lift your knees over your hips. You're going to cross your right leg over your left once or twice. So we kind of have eagle legs here. And if this is uncomfortable for you in your hips, you can just keep your legs uncrossed. So up to you, crossing once or twice or not at all. Lower your knees down to the left side. Try to keep your right shoulder on the mat if it's possible. You don't need to look over your right shoulder, but you can if it's comfortable. You can also look up to the ceiling. This frequency of 741 also helps us to detoxify the body, as back bends do as well. As twists do as well. So we can focus on detoxifying our inner organs here, bringing in health to our internal workings. Noticing where your knees are. They're below the line of your hips, bringing them up above the line of the hips will bring your twist more into your thoracic spine, where you get a better twist from. We have about 1 more minute on this side. her down a little bit more. Twisting releases all the muscles along the spine, brings in neutrality to the spinal column, to our nervous system. So it's great to end class with a twist. We'll slowly move out. We're going to rest for about 30 seconds between our sides here. Just feeling the rebound. Feel a little bit uneven here in your rest before we do the next side. Just becoming aware of those sensations, seeing how the posture has acted on your body. And then we'll come to do the other side. So again, keeping the arms on the mat, palms up or down. Draw the knees over the hips. You don't have to cross on this side just because you did on the other side. Choice is yours. Wrapping your left leg around your right, either once or twice. Dropping the knees over to the right side. And again, you can use a pillow underneath your knees. Your knees are really far from the floor. Can use a pillow underneath your shoulders if they're coming off the floor quite a lot also. Seeing that the knees are above the line of the hips. Bringing the twist into the thoracic spine. We'll be here for about 2 more minutes. taking any final movements or shapes that you're feeling called to before you settle into your final pose. Maybe a happy baby or a forward fold. Moving with your intuition, asking yourself what you need, being sensitive enough to hear the reply, and being kind enough to give ourselves what we need. And when you're ready, settling in to your Shavasana, your pentacle pose. And in Yin, you can rest however you would like to, again, for your final rest. Stomach back or side. Feeling supported and relaxed. Letting all tension fade away. Breathing in the benefits of your practice. We'll end with the frequency of 417, which is helping us prepare for change, looking positively to the future, and leaving our trauma behind. So settle in and allow it to be. Slowly beginning to bring your awareness back to your physical form, becoming aware of the sensations within your body, feeling of yourself floating on your mat, breathing deeply into your space, feeling that level of relaxation, breathing in that medicine of new beginnings with every breath. Something starts anew. Beginning to move your fingers and toes, taking your time, beginning to move your arms and legs, giving yourself a nice stretch if that's what you need. And then rolling over to your left side, your yin side, to rest in the fetal position for a moment, honoring the space between practice on the mat and practice in daily life. Bringing whatever it is that you learned about yourself or your body or your mind with you to the rest of your day. Slowly pushing yourself up to sit, keeping eyes closed. We'll take the hands over the heart, one on top of the other, feeling into heart center. We'll just take a moment to thank ourselves for our practice today. Feeling comfort and love for ourselves and our body, our experience. Sending love to every corner of ourselves and our experience. And I send you love and light, and I thank you so much for being here and for doing the work today and every day. It's not always easy, and you're doing a great job. So thank you. And thank you for downloading this class. We'll end here, fluttering open the eyes. Thank you once again. Rupak, can you come over here? So, we really had to rush to make this happen, but we're so happy that it finally came together and just in time. Want to say anything?
No.
No. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye-bye.